Hello Swapper Shoppers, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we review cheap and expensive foods, all to give you the best bargain. Today's video, we have Heinz Spaghetti Hoops, £1.25, that's per tin. I know, right? Versus the Lidl Spaghetti Loops, which are an unbelievable 18 pence. But is there some extra magic in the Heinz? Does it really justify the increased cost? We're about to find out. So if you're a long-term Swapper Shopper viewer, you'll notice that I used to do the Versus series, where I'd pit up usually a supermarket cheap brand versus the original, things like Cornettos and Walker's Crisps, plenty of that to come. If you haven't seen the old videos, check them out on the channel. But in the meantime, I need a tin opener, because the first thing you'll notice when you buy cheap spaghetti hoops, or spaghetti loops for this fact, there's no ring pull. Now, after some research, I found out that the ring pull doesn't actually add that much cost. It's a few pence to add for a tin. But, I mean, that means if it saves you an extra few pence, so be it. So, I've had to, for once in my life, actually break open the tin opener. Who uses tin openers these days? I swear absolutely everything has a ring pull. So, I've decided to put down some kitchen roll in the event that I'll probably get this all over my nice clean table. And I just hate using tin openers because at the end you've got the tin lid, which then inevitably will fly spaghetti juice everywhere. I'm fully expecting this to get down all over my t-shirt, but I seem to have done well so far. There we go. Okay, we managed to release it. The Heinz version, much easier. Just a ring pull. Feels like I'm just opening a can of Coke. However, the ring pull's not always that good. So okay, you pay a little bit of money, you get a premium ring pull, but sometimes you open it and it splashes everywhere, which I also hate. So we've got both. So I've got 2 spoons, that way I can't cross-contaminate to make it a fair test. And I've got 2 separate bowls. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to microwave them. I'd usually put them on the hob, but I think it's just going to be quicker for the emphasis of this video. So I'm going to pour out the Heinz Spaghetti Hoops first. Now, I'm going to actually pour them out first, and then I'll show you a close-up view so you can see exactly what I'm seeing. But the Spaghetti Hoops from Heinz, first off, they look quite watery when they go in, and quite a lot of them stay in the tin. And if you like the tin lid with your food as well, then you can also have that, because that falls out. I'll get the remainder out in a minute. This looks more like glue that's holding it together. It's, oh, I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, it's a lot more thick, the sauce. It's more gelatinous, but more did come out the tin on first inspection. So let me get the spoons, pour everything out properly, and I'll show you guys the uncooked versions, and then I'll get them cooking. Okay, Swapper Shoppers, so this is the Lidl Spaghetti Loops. So as you can see, you get 390 grams worth, and if you can't already tell, they do feel a little bit gelatinous, but they're not yet warmed up, so we'll give a little the benefit of a doubt. However, these are the Heinz Spaghetti Hoops, and for a large tin, which is your regular tin, it's 400 grams, so you do get 10 grams more, but you can tell they're not as claggy. They're kind of individualized. They haven't clagged together like with super glue like these ones. These ones just look like one solid block, like you've frozen it or something. But, I mean, let's see if they actually taste just as good. So before we get to heating these up and taste test them, I just wanted to read through each tin to see what the difference is, because it's a huge difference in cost. There must be something I'm missing, right? So we'll start off with the Heinz. So Heinz has 105 calories per half can with 7.9 grams of sugar. So if we compare that to the Spaghetti Loops, half can is 110 calories, so more calories, only by 5, well 10 in the full can, as Spaghetti Loops from Lidl, and 7 grams of sugar per half can. So there's actually a whole 2 grams less sugar in the cheap Lidl versions, which I didn't actually expect, because usually companies add extra sugar to kind of mask other tastes, especially like tomato. So usually that would be cheaper. Interestingly, they've gone with less sugar. Now again, you do get 10 grams less in total with the Lidl's Hoops. Now the key thing on my mind was how much actual spaghetti do you get? Remember, it's spaghetti hoops, slash loops, so you want a lot of spaghetti. Well, I'm happy to say that they're actually identical. Both tins contain 42% spaghetti, which is pretty surprising. Now, obviously, they have a variety of different ingredients. I won't go through them all because it's the taste that matters. And the microwave instructions, pretty identical. You basically just sling it in the microwave. These take 2.5 minutes. Interestingly, they say these take 3 minutes. However, it only gives you cooking instructions for a 750 watt microwave. Usual microwaves are around 800. This says for 850. I don't know why manufacturers can't just pick a wattage and make it easier. Surely you'd put these on the same wattage, right? But apparently not. And Heinz trusts you to heat these in a pan because it just says heat gently in a pan. Lidl have gone through the effort to tell you it takes 4 to 5 minutes to actually heat this in a pan. Your results may vary. This, interestingly, also says is 1 of your 5 a day for Heinz. I'm yet to actually find anything that says about, the benefits of this. No, there's no 1 of your 5 a day. There's just warnings about opening the can and disposing of it. So, just says pasta loops and tomato sauce. But how have Heinz described theirs? I'd be interested to know. Spaghetti hoops in tomato sauce with iron and vitamin D. So, they're adding vitamins to this. This doesn't specify that it's got any added vitamins that I can see. There may be some benefits, of course, in the actual nutrition, but it doesn't actually specify that they've added anything specific. As you'd expect, 18p, £1.25. Right, let's get these heated up. I won't show you the cooking process because you don't need me to tell you how to heat spaghetti hoops up, but I am going to show you how they look when they're cooked, and of course, get to tasting. If you haven't already, like the video, let's get cooking. Right. Whilst they're cooking, I'm just going to explain what's going on with the channel. Eliana isn't here. Yeah, you're confused, right? Don't worry, it's not as bad as you think. The problem is we just have different schedules. Things happen at different times, we work different hours. It isn't always possible to be here, both of us, but I still wanted to do these reviews, and Eliana still does too. So we're going to make sure that we've got content for you guys, because you guys have been so loyal and supportive for us. No matter how many videos we've done or the variety of videos we've done, you've always stuck around, and we really, really appreciate that. But we're going to go back to our roots, which is, this is a test video to see if you guys love these type of videos. When we see the old videos, which are like the cornettos, the cheaper versus the expensive ones, you guys are still watching those videos to this day, and they're like 2 years old. So if you want more videos like these, then please subscribe and let us know in the comments what you'd like us to review, because supermarkets are ripping us off. It's about time we found out what the truth is. Are these just as good? And are these ripping us off? Let's find out. Oh, they're ready. Now, firstly, I can see why I always put these on the hob rather than microwaving them, because dishes are red hot. So this is the Lidl version. So this is 18 pence. We can see it's got quite a lot of juice, which I think is good, because let's say if you had this on toast, look how much juice is going to get soaked up by the toast. I'll give these a smell in a minute, but I just wanted to show you what they look like straight out of the microwave. So here's the Heinz version. Remember, £1.25. Definitely a lot thicker, a lot less sauce, which is odd because you only get an extra 10 grams and it's got the same amount of pasta, or spaghetti I should say. So I'd imagine the extra 10 grams is coming purely from that sauce. These do definitely feel a lot heavier on the spoon. The sauce is definitely a lot thicker. But it's interesting that all that kind of clagginess that happened before, when these were coming out the tin, it's obviously gone when it's been warmed up. It makes a nice, rich looking sauce. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below of the colours, but I'd actually say that the Lidl version looks a lot deeper orange colour. I'm wondering if this is going to taste better, Let's get to tasting. Okay, Swapper Shoppers, now that I've shown you what they look like up close, it's time to taste them. Yeah, this is very, very hot. Beware if you put these in the microwave. Remember, these take 3 minutes. So I cooked them for the times that it's stated. Normally, I'd just sling it in the microwave or on a pan, and I wouldn't care what the times are, but I'm going to trust what the manufacturers say here. Maybe it makes a difference. Who knows? I'm sure these don't actually take 3 minutes. These are like lava. But the manufacturer's instructions say 3 minutes, so I'm going to try these last, because otherwise I may not have a tongue left or any taste buds. Okay, so let's smell the Heinz ones first. Smell-o-vision, I wish that was a thing, but sniffer-dog nose is just as good. Oh, I haven't had Heinz Spaghetti Hoops in such a long time that I didn't realise how weird they smell. They smell so artificial and chemically. Is chemically a word? It is now. Oh, they smell bizarre. Maybe it's the pasta that smells. Let me just try to get the sauce. No, it's just all of it. Okay, let's give these a smell first then as well. Oh, I am not making that up. It actually smells of tomato. Let me try these again. I do get a little hint of tomato, but it's weird, right? If you were to cook raw spaghetti and then smell spaghetti once it's been drained out the pan, it has a certain smell, right? You can smell that a lot. But I wonder if this is because there's a lot more sauce in this one. Oh, it smells so good, that one. Now, I've not added anything to it. No salt, no pepper, there's no toast. This is literally just raw taste. So I'm going to give the Heinz ones a try. Now, you could say that I'm being biased because, everyone's going to prefer the brands. But as we've seen on Swapper Shopper before, that's very rarely the case, actually. Unless the own brand is cheaper. I've only had the own brand cheaper on one occasion, and I think that was the cornflake clusters, which weirdly they've disappeared from Tesco as well now, the dairy milk versions. Let me know if you've seen them in your Tesco. Okay, let's give them a try. The hoops just dissolve on your tongue absolutely immediately. They're very, very soft. The sauce. It's like it's in a Worcestershire sauce. The sauce, it's been a long day. The sauce actually is quite sugary. It's got a good rich tomato taste, but there's a huge sugar aftertaste. The hoops are very soft, good texture, I'd say. Bit too squishy for my liking. It's a bit like baby food, but I haven't had spaghetti hoops in quite a long time, so maybe this is just how they're supposed to taste. And because it says to heat these for only 2.5 minutes, they definitely don't taste hot. They're very warm, but they're not like hot. I like food boiling hot. I like it like incinerated. When I like my toast, I like it golden. I don't like it burnt, but I like it golden. Let's move these out of the way so I can get access a little bit easier and show you. Problems of being left-handed, right? I wish I could just use my right hand, but I can't. Sorry, viewers. Right. Let's try and get plenty of spaghetti, because I don't just want loads of sauce. Ideally, I want the same sauce to spaghetti ratio, so that way the sauce doesn't throw it off. Right, here we go. Oh, it smells so much better. Yeah, I've just taken a little sip because I remember that's really hot. I don't want to burn my mouth. Maybe if I blow in it. Does that actually make a difference? Well, they're very, very hot. They're like very, very hot. I know I like hot food, but this is almost like burning my taste buds. Interesting. It's a lot richer. It's still sugary. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm saying, oh, this is just sugar, because it's basically got the same amount of sugar, right? But it tastes different. The texture and the profile is different. The texture is surprising. I just literally said these are really soft, right? And they're like baby food. This texture is another level because you cook them for 3 minutes and they're so hot. Like, you don't even taste that it's a spaghetti loop or hoop, whatever you want to call it. They call it loops. I don't actually taste that it's that. It just tastes like regular spaghetti. It doesn't taste like it's in a hoop form. There's no bite to it. You can't taste it on your tongue. It is nice. Like, don't get me wrong. Oh, there's a little bit of texture with that one. I just think it's cooked for way too long. I think it's kind of ruined it a little bit. Because now even if I left that to cool, I don't think it tastes the same. I think the spaghetti is way overcooked. Let me try it again. As it's cooling a little bit, the texture is coming back a little bit. But if I go back to the Heinz, oh yeah, they have texture. I thought this was baby food. That's baby food. Ooh, yeah. There's a lot more sugar taste. That's really weird. There's less sugar in the Lidl ones, but you can taste more sugar in the Heinz ones. The colour, I think, is the main differentiator here. This is a really dark orange, which would suggest they've added something to deepen the flavour. It must be something to do with the amount of tomatoes. So if I check, it's 39% tomatoes in the Lidl. So in theory, I'm expecting the Heinz one to be lower tomato ratio. 41%. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So Heinz have more tomato, but yet taste a lot less rich. And it has more sugar, only by a little bit, but it tastes like it's got double the amount of sugar. I don't know how Heinz have done it, but yeah, do you know, viewers, I'm stumped because I was expecting this to be a slam dunk, you know, with the Heinz, but it is and it isn't. If you had the texture of the Heinz Spaghetti Hoops, but with the sauce from the Lidl's ones and cooked for 2.5 minutes, I think that is ideal. But as it stands, the Heinz ones are better. But would I swap to 18p ones? I'd have to say yes. Do you know what? If I was eating this on toast, especially then, you can't tell the texture difference as much. And yeah, as it's cooling, a little bit of the texture is coming through. If it's on toast, you can't tell. I think it's going to be negligible. The amount of sugar that's in that, I think, does make you probably want to crave it more, and it's a bit more addictive. But yeah, I just don't understand, right? It's a bit odd. And the price difference, you know, of being this £1 more expensive, are you paying just £1 more for the Heinz branding? Probably so, because looking at the ingredients, they're pretty much the same product. So, swapper shoppers, I've got a decision to make. Am I forever now going to have Heinz Spaghetti Hoops every time I want to reach for them in the supermarket? Or if I'm in Lidl, will I go with the cheaper version? I'd have to say, honestly, if it was part of a meal, such as like on toast and maybe with something else, I think I would go with the cheaper ones. But if for any reason I just wanted to taste good spaghetti hoops, these do come out on top. But who's going to really sit there and just eat an entire bowl of spaghetti hoops? I think they're a bit bland just for that. But the more I eat Heinz, I think it's just a thing, you know, growing up, if you've had Heinz when you're growing up, you just remember it's just such a unique taste and it's so addictive. It is more difficult, I think, to change over to the smaller Lidl versions. Smaller? I wouldn't say they're smaller. I would say these are cheaper ones. If you prefer cheaper foods, or if you have no choice but to eat cheaper foods, which is understandable in this given climate, these are fine, right? Don't be put off by the awful branding. These are quite nice. Yes, there is a bit of rough around the edges that could be worked out. I would simply say just cook them for about a minute less and they're absolutely fine. Don't worry about them. I would not judge you for eating those. I think I would judge you for eating Heinz ones simply because they're ridiculously expensive though. But I can understand in terms of taste. Heinz wins, I think, on overall taste, but would I swap if I had the choice to Lidl's Hoops, or if I had no choice as well? Definitely. I think these are a really good, solid contender, you know. So, that's just one man's opinion. If you've got an opinion of them and you've tried them both before, please let me know in the comments down below and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, it tells me and Eliana that you enjoyed this content and you want more of it, so please do that if you can. And also, we're welcome to suggestions. We've got a lot of videos coming soon. Don't worry about the pacing. We just want to enjoy ourselves and produce amazing content for you guys. So the schedule might have to take a bit of a hit for now, but maybe we'll return to that in the future. But thanks again. I appreciate you guys. Swapper Shopper out. Ciao for now.